Trump spent 90 minutes with 60 Minutes. Here's what happened. President Trump appeared on 60 Minutes Sunday night, 12 months after suing the CBS display over the modifying of a Kamala Harris interview, and he became properly conscious that his answers might in further be trimmed for time. "You don't ought to use that one," Trump remarked after an ungainly trade with interviewer Norah O'Donnell, approximately crime in Washington, D.C. "You don't ought to put this on, because I don't want to embarrass you," Trump said at some other point while praising the new properties of CBS. The news magazine's producers evidently agreed that those moments weren't the most newsworthy. CBS News aired about a third of O'Donnell's sit-down with Trump on television and posted most of the relation on YouTube. The community also posted the complete transcript of the 90-minute interview online. Both the television broadcast and the transcript confirmed that O'Donnell sought to make the most of her time with Trump, pressing him on value of dwelling increases, foreign policy demanding challenges, the government shutdown, and other subjects. O'Donnell asked pointing questions. Are we going to battle against Venezuela? When will you claim task achieved on immigration? So you're going to send the military into American towns? At some point during multiple key moments, O'Donnell driven back on Trump's speaking points, as instance noting how, when the stock market is doing well, that doesn't have an effect on anybody. Liberal commentators criticized O'Donnell for not interjecting and correcting Trump more frequently, reprising a decade-antique debate within media industry circles about how to interview Trump. Former MSNBC host Joy Reid commented on Blue Sky, "Norah let Trump lie and lie with slightly any pushback or provision of corrective facts." But it was not exactly a comfortable interview, and O'Donnell's questions generated masses of news. In one clip that ricocheted around social media, Trump said immigration raids in the U.S. haven't gone far enough. In another viral clip, Trump said, "I don't know who he is," when asked about Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, whom he pardoned last month. Trump seemingly had little to say when O'Donnell brought up those that are suffering with cost of living increases and saying they're living paycheck to paycheck. He suggested people should blame his predecessor, Joe Biden, and made general pledges about reducing the rate of gas and fixing health care. "But Mr. President, with all due respect, you've been talking about fixing the healthcare insurance plan since 2015, O'Donnell said at one point. "Sure, and you can't do it because of the Democrats," Trump replied. Praising David Ellison and Bari Weiss. Sit-down interviews with Trump were few and far in between at some stage during his second term, so every question and every answer gets attention. And Sunday's 60 Minutes interview was even more noteworthy considering the fact that Trump cares deeply about the news magazine, but hadn't said yes to an interview since in 2020. Trump fielded O'Donnell's questions on Friday, 365 days to the day after he filed a frivolous lawsuit against 60 Minutes over its pre-election interview with Harris. The lawsuit, together with Trump's public attacks and threats against CBS station licenses, shook the network and created a conundrum for Paramount Agency, which needed the Trump administration's approval for its then-pending merger with Skydance Media. The Paramount board decided to strike a settlement deal paying $16 million to Trump's future presidential library to end the litigation. The settlement was widely criticized, including by reporters and entertainers at CBS. The Late Show host Stephen Colbert likened it to a big fat bribe. Colbert's show was canceled shortly thereafter in what the network cast as a financial, not a political decision. Within days of the settlement being finalized last July, the Trump administration approved Paramount's merger with Skydance Media, clearing the way for Skydance boss David Ellison, son of the Oracle billionaire Larry Ellison, to take control of CBS. Trump has kept tabs at the Paramount ownership change and has expressed hope that CBS would be fairer as a result. Larry Ellison is incredible, and his son David is extreme. They're friends of mine. They're big supporters of mine. They'll make the right decisions. They'll make the right decisions, he added. They'll revitalize CBS. Hopefully they'll bring it back to its former glory. Trump also flattered the Ellisons during the 60 Minutes taping, saying, "I see good things happening in the news. I really do. And I think one of the best things to take place is this show and new ownership, CBS and new ownership. I think it's the greatest thing that's happened in a long time to a free and open and appropriate press." Trump specifically brought up David Ellison's recent hiring of Bari Weiss as CBS News editor-in-chief, albeit not by name. The young lady that's leading your whole organization is from what I know, I don't know her, but I hear she's a great person, Trump said after bringing up the Paramount settlement. This is one of the parts of the interview that Trump suggested may be trimmed. Trump falsely stated 60 Minutes was forced to pay me a lot of money, when in fact the settlement was a corporate calculation. CBS could have decided to fight the lawsuit in court, and many legal experts believe the network could have won. Trump also misstated the timeline, claiming the Harris interview was election-changing 2 nights before Election Day, when Either It Factor aired a month before Election Day. CBS disclosed the settlement controversy in O'Donnell's introduction to the interview broadcast on Sunday night. She noted that the settlement did not include an apology or admission of wrongdoing.